you have to think very broadly, right? Usually when people first start to think about search engine marketing, they think, oh, well, there's really 20 or 30 keywords that are really important to my business. And those may be the power keywords that you can't do without, but chances are there's a whole bunch of other phrases and other keyword combinations that are equally important, and they may get less searches every month or every year or every day, but when you add them all up together, they become fairly significant. So they call this the search distribution curve. And essentially what it looks like, it's a curve that has a lot of stuff at the head of the curve, and then it gets very asymptotic. What I mean by that is a lot of people search for the no-brainer stuff because they're all thinking the same. So they're all thinking, car loan. They're all thinking, Caribbean cruise. Whereas some people are actually, thinking about fixed interest car loan or discount Caribbean cruise vacation package scuba diving, which is a really long one. So how far out into sort of the tail of that search distribution do you go in keyword generation? That's going to be dependent on your particular business and a variety of other factors. But it is important to at least go beyond the no-brainer ones to start to understand the kinds of keywords that are going to drive the behavior that might translate into sales. So often what we find is search marketers don't think about all the related keywords that they should use. So if you think about like Verizon sponsors that that In Excess show, right? But is their site optimized on all the contestants' names and all the things that people are already associating them with, or singular for American Idol, or Coca-Cola for American Idol, or U.S. Postal Service for Lance Armstrong? Are those things that they should consider doing SEO for, because they've already sort of hooked themselves into these other keywords that relate to them, maybe not directly to their business, but those may be extremely heavily searched keywords, as they often are with American Idol. American Idol during their season ends up showing up in the top 10 search results. So, if I were sponsoring American Idol, I would make sure I also had some content on my site relating to that, and I also did SEO relating to it, because I may be able to get up there for that, and that'd be a great way of extending that branding that I engaged in by sponsoring that show. Yep.
How many keywords should you have per page?
We'll talk a little bit about that after lunch, but essentially each page could potentially rank for a whole basket of keywords, but you usually find that 1 to 3 concepts per page, which are sort of or 1 to 3 keyword concepts per page is sort of maximum. So, even your home page can only really be relevant for a certain number of key core concepts. So as your pyramidal site hierarchy spreads out, you'll find that as you get down more and more granular, more and more specific, that each page should really be should try to be relevant for whatever the essence of that page is, which usually ends up boiling down to 3 or 4 keyword phrases, or 3 or 4 keywords, which may include a variety of phrases. So what ends up happening often is you would love to be relevant for Caribbean cruises, but you don't actually achieve top ranking for Caribbean cruises. But because your site also includes body copy that has other related keywords in it, like vacation or discount, or in the case of Caribbean cruises, it could be singles, right? So you may end up coming up high for singles Caribbean cruise because you also had the word singles in your copy. So you may have initially thought, oh, I would love to make this page about Caribbean cruises, but you may end up coming up fairly high for something that is based on another keyword paired together with it that was in your body copy. So we'll do a couple. Let me see if what else I have before lunch. This will be the last slide before lunch. So we talked about that keyword distribution, where you basically had the head of the keyword distribution and the tail of the keyword distribution. This is illustrated really well by using the Yahoo inventory tool, which I can email everybody the URL to, but it's basically a free tool where you put any keyword in it, and it shows you all the permutations over the last month that were searched for that keyword. And it'll show you 100 results at a time. So what's interesting is you show the keyword travel, which is 3,900,000 searches, and then you've got skipping down to number 100, which was 27,000 people typed in Las Vegas travel. So those are all keywords that have the word travel, keyword phrases that have the word travel in there. So if I were to build a page that I wanted to be, specifically, if I happen to have a page that is pretty good at Las Vegas travel-related information, I could sort of concentrate on that phrase as one that I would want to come up high for. But even below Las Vegas travel, if I drilled down on that, I would probably find certain Las Vegas travel something, add another keyword to that, and those are still coming up at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 searches a month. So you've got this really long tail off of very powerful keywords like travel. But for people who are in a very niche business, I don't know whether they showed up or not, but I know that the guys from Grayline were supposed to show up. Did they show up or no? Yeah. So, I mean, bus tours, right? Well, New York bus tour, Manhattan bus tour, Manhattan sightseeing tour without the word bus. There's going to be all sorts of combinations and permutations that you'll never be able to squeeze them all into one page. So as you think about your site hierarchy and your site structure, you're going to try to come up with use tools like this to come up with the kinds of permutations which you could generate good content for, which then are more likely to show up higher in the search engines. Or they may end up being keywords which you'll also consider buying in the paid search environment. So this keyword search distribution looks different for each of you. So once you've got your sort of obvious power keywords, you can then use those, type them into this tool, and really understand the search behavior of sort of at least Yahoo's universe. Google doesn't give the numbers. They still rank order them somewhat in their tool. But this can give you a really good basis by which to understand the relative opportunity of all these keywords. Because essentially what this is telling you is this is the opportunity should you happen to be able to get a top position either in a paid environment or in an organic environment for that keyword. If there are 3,900,000 people searching for travel, that's a pretty big opportunity every month. Were we to look this up for New York bus tours, it's going to be a smaller number, but it's going to be right in the sweet spot for a marketer in this room. So everybody's number distribution is going to be a little bit different. The folks who have legal sites, and there's going to be hundreds of thousands of keywords that relate to all sorts of lawyer, attorney, barrister, paralegal terms. Not barrister. Forget barrister. Hey, there may be Brits here who are looking for lawyers, so I wouldn't count out barrister yet. But there's going to be all those, and then there are even potentially particular case law that you could use as content to drive people who are looking for particular case law and trademarks on patents, on unfair business practices, etc. There's the more content you have, the huger your keyword list ends up being. So if you've got a site that's got tens of thousands of pages, chances are you're going to actually have a keyword list that could be generated off of those pages, which is very, very large, which is actually great because content is king. Diversity in content drives a diversity of possibilities that you could come up high organically for those keywords. Plus, it gives you more opportunities to find paid keywords which might have a good ROI for you where you don't have a competitor, right? Most of your competitors may have thought of the no-brainer keywords, but they may not have thought of all of the keywords that you have content for because they don't have content for that keyword. So you may be able to buy keywords for 1/8 of the price for certain content that you already have that allows you to get a huge ROI from that. So why don't we take lunch until, let's see, what time is it now? So it's about 12:15. I guess why don't we take lunch till about 1:15, 1:20, and then we'll continue onward.